Hello, friends. My name is Dane Miller.
And my name is Niall Spain, and we're your fuck buddies.
We are a dating and sex advice podcast where we take your sticky, sexy situations and we turn them into sexy, sticky situations.
Simply put, we're a sex and dating advice podcast. We find questions either online or from our wonderful listeners, and we answer them here on this very show in like a few minutes or seconds today, right here in your ears.
Oh, you mean we're going to start doing it shortly, and not that we answer questions in a few seconds?
Oh, we definitely don't answer questions in a few seconds. No, God, no. But I mean, I was going to say we're about to do it in a few seconds, but we're not, because I'm going to take us on a detour. And that detour begins like this. What's the most embarrassing thing you've ever done on a date, Dane?
Ooh.
Let's say first date.
First date. There was there was a time, I don't remember if it was a first date or not, but before I really figured out what was causing my stomach distress, I did take a very, very big, pretty aggressive, pretty criminal poop in a date's bathroom that just sort of like seeped, like it wasn't contained in just bathroom zone. Mm-hmm. It really did sort of
the smell,
permeate.
I assume, and not the poop itself.
Just
that's
the
good.
smell.
That's good.
So it's like, it's really hard to sort of like pull any sexy maneuvers when you're like, I did that.
I left that for you.
That poop crime in there, I did that. That was me. It came out of my body. Would you like me to now to be inside your body?
Yeah, I feel like, I don't really know. I did once, like, it wasn't really a first date, more than like a one night stand kind of thing, but I did go home with someone, and like we'd been out drinking and I was a little drunk, and like the tensions were high. Like we were like all over each other on the way back to hers. We knew what was going to happen. But once we got there, kind of ruined it by being like, I gotta run to the bathroom. At which point I had to pee in her shower because I had a boner, so there's just piss all over her shower because I was just peeing up. Eventually get outside. She's like, all right, I'm going to go to the bathroom. And like I stripped off and got onto her bed, which I also at the time didn't know which room was hers. So I just got on a bed, not thinking about it because I was quite drunk. And then she came out, and there was like a moment where she like looked at me and like froze. And I was like, oh shit. It kind of like sobered me up for a minute. And I was like, none of the things I just did are okay. But then she was like, she took her clothes off. Everything was fine. I don't think she ever found out about the pee, although she did ask to get in the shower later. And I left. But none of these are as bad as this story. This is our sex news for the day.
I do want to address, what do you mean you had to pee in the shower?
Because I had a fucking boner. So where the fuck else am I going to pee? There's like tiles on the shower, so I could pee up and I could just drip down.
What do you mean by pee up?
I had a boner. My dick's pointing upwards.
Like literally straight up towards your face?
Well, like at a 45-degree angle up. My dick doesn't point straight up.
Well, that's what I mean. Like, I've pissed with a boner before, and I've never been like, let me just cover this shower.
Yeah, but how the hell did you get in the toilet?
You just like take a step back. You got to work your trajectories, your arc. Also, you can like
maybe my upwards boner trajectory is worse than yours or something, but like I would probably have to be so far from the toilet to arc it like that. And like it was very hard. Like I couldn't force it down. It was not doing that.
Okay.
I know. Yeah, it was anyway. It was an emergency. I knew the longer I spent in the bathroom, the more she thought I would be doing like a Dane poo crime, or just like the smoldering fires of our desire would go out. Either way, this leads me to an article posted on the BBC this morning. Are you ready for woman trapped in window trying to retrieve poo after Tinder days?
Okay.
A woman who threw her poo out of her date's toilet window because it would not flush had to be rescued after she got stuck trying to retrieve it. The amateur gymnast was on a date with a Bristol student when she panicked and threw the feces out the window. It did not land in the garden, but became wedged between two non-opening windows. After climbing in head first, she became wedged. They had to call the fire service for help.
Oh, man.
There are pictures of her upside down through the window in distress. There's pictures of... Not really. There's pictures of firemen extracting her. And it's quoted that they had to compose themselves first, probably because they're laughing at the fact that this woman is stuck between two windows, reaching down to claim the shit she threw with her bare hands out said window.
Like, isn't that a scene from Dumb and Dumber? I'm almost positive that happens in Dumb and Dumber.
Well, it's also a scene from this man's toilet.
Fuck me. That's horrible. Like, this person literally. We've joked about having to, like, flee a country or a city. Like, you literally have to. Like, you can't go on living in this place. There's no way you could.
If by this place you mean the mortal plane, yes.
Well, I don't want to encourage
No, I not anything grim. I just think you need to
transcend.
transcend physical world. Transcend any world where poop and windows mean anything and just become like ether power, you know?
Yeah, you need to shift into the invisible, ethereal
Also,
plane.
who took this fucking picture? Because the guy, I will say, there's an interview with the guy. He seems largely unfazed by this, actually. Apparently, he handed her a plastic bag while she was stuck. She scooped the poop out. He took it and flushed it. So, fair play to him. He also said she's a lovely woman and that who knows what the future holds between them when asked if they're
Aw.
a future date. He said, we got on very, very well and she's a lovely girl. So, he actually seemed very, very chill. So, it leads me to believe it was, in fact, the fireman. Either way, it all seems quite shit. Don't take a picture. Okay, guys, little advice. If you have a date who's stuck between your two windows scooping her own poop, don't take a picture. That's not cool.
Yeah, I mean, it could be anyone. Passerbys, like, everyone's got a phone in their pocket these days.
Well, it's from inside.
Oh, no.
Like,
I thought it was, like, from outside this
oh
woman.
no. Sorry, let me send you. Do I have it?
Oh, boy, this is terrible. I'm sorry. I'm sorry for all of this.
So there you go. There's some sex news.
So, I mean, like, this is great. And this is something I feel like we can refer back to for years to come of like, anytime someone's like, I was on my period and there was a little bit of spotting blood on the sheets and I'm mortified, or I came on my date's knee because he was the sex or the makeout was so hot. I'm so embarrassed. Nothing will be as bad as this.
This
Well,
is one of.
I'm sure someone could top it, but
Yeah, this is one of the most embarrassing things I've ever just heard of or seen. I know there's the one story going around a while ago that I don't know whether it was like a fictional thing or not, where someone had similar situation, taking a shit on a date, it wouldn't flush, so she scooped it out and put it in the cat litter box, and then he was like, "Hey, did you shit in my litter box?" And she was like, "Why would you think that?" And he's like, "My cat died like 2 weeks ago and there's a fresh shit in there, so."
oh no, just be like, he's come back to visit you.
It's his parting gift. Are you watching the interview?
Yeah, it just started automatically. I mean, like, there are things that these were decisions that she made. There are things that sometimes you can't control. Sneezing into a vagina? Sure. Throwing up because you gagged on a dick too hard? Embarrassing, but, like, your body's going to do what your body's going to do. This woman said, hey, this poop, it's got to go. And I'm going to use my hands to do it. Poorly.
I'm going to use his window as the means of egress, and I'm not going to do a good throw either.
Yeah, I mean, look, I don't know what I would do in this situation, but probably not that.
I feel like you could just be like, oh, this is really embarrassing. Your toilet's, like, not flushing, and then ask if they have, like, a plunger or some shit. Or just, like, cover up the poop with toilet paper so they don't have to see it, and ask for some assistance. Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. But I don't think at any point in time I'd be so desperate that
just hand the shit out a window.
Yeah, no, I don't think. Like I said, I am 90% certain that Jim Carrey does this or maybe it's Jeff Daniels in Dumb and Dumber.
Fair. Yeah, I don't know if the other thing, I feel like there's a very similar situation to the cat box poop thing in Broad City, and I don't know if that was inspired by real life or not, because this seems fake and this is real.
The cat box thing is an even stranger one, because, like, unless the litter box is in the bathroom or literally right beside the bathroom, there's travel time to be accounted for as well of you shuttling your poop.
And also, like, unless your cat is real big or your shit is real weird, like, I don't know, you're going to be able to tell.
Oh, yeah, I would, after like 13 years of shoveling my cat's shit, I would know. I would know if there was a foreign poo in there. If there was a
I,
human poop in there.
I don't know. You didn't catch me last time.
I did. I just didn't care.
Aw, thanks, man. That was really
Yeah.
kind. For those listening who can't, you know, parse the banter, I
Nope. I'm
didn't do
cutting this
that.
out. I'm cutting this out.
Damn it.
I get to edit this
Hey,
podcast.
hey, Dane, how about we further don't get onto advice and I hit you with this?
Okay.
Do you like updates to previously asked questions?
I love them.
Hey, do you remember the flat earth question?
Yeah.
Yeah, here's an update.
Okay.
Thanks to everyone who read and responded. Couldn't reply, it got locked. Post was less serious than people took it. A lot of people thought I was really desperate for it to work out and would overlook advice to the contrary. I was mostly joking, but, wasn't sure. Thanks to those who got in touch, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so we spoke for a few more days before she asked the dreaded question. Have you been vaccinated? I have been, but figured things were going to be interesting. I asked for the reason for her inquiry. Her response: her whole family's avoiding the vaccine. Her friends have suggested it's dangerous to even date vaccinated people. She's also done her research and found out merely being in the presence of vaccinated people can cause a woman to have worse periods and increase the risk of miscarriages. And she's advising her pregnant sister to stay home and avoid being around people. Needless to say, we haven't seen each other since. We called it.
Yeah.
We called it like 1,000,000%.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you want to know why we're an award nominated sex and dating podcast, it's because we have this foresight.
It's true. And we don't mean like foresight like the usual term. We mean we have the fourth sight. It's something that happens when you travel to the edge of the flat earth. No.
Yeah, there's the third eye, and then we have the fourth eye, which is spotting crazy shit that people do while they date other people. You ready for some questions?
Well, wait. First, no. Yeah, let's do it.
This is from Mundane Weddings 7499. Is it rude to buy my boyfriend bed sheets? I've recently started a relationship with a guy that I really like. I've stayed the night at his apartment once, and I hated being there. I would like to see him more and not have him solely come and visit me, but I'm not comfortable in his apartment. Well, some of the issues that he has are out of his control, but there is one thing that is his bed sheets. He has a nice, comfortable mattress, and he just lays a blanket on top of it. He sleeps with one thin flat sheet and two pillows that need to be thrown out. When I came to visit last time, I brought my own pillow and blanket, just in case. He was slightly offended, but it made me sleep more comfortably. I mentioned to him that he should get a new bed set, but he refuses because it's enough for him. Should I purchase a bed set for him? I don't want to be rude or come off as taking over his space. What would you do in this situation?
For your own pillow and blanket, it's a wild move. I feel like if between that and the literally bringing it up to him, he doesn't get it, there's probably either a way more specific conversation that you need to have with him, or just like, I don't know. I don't think anyone's gonna be pissed that you got them a fucking bed sheet. You know what I mean? It might be weird if you guys have only been dating a short time. Did they say how long
They
they've been
said recently started, so it's a
yeah.
new one.
You could just be like, I'm used to, X or Y, or like, oh, I'm cold because you don't have enough blankets, or anything like that. If you phrase it in a way that's more making it about you than it is about him, and just be like, I'm going to buy it, like, don't worry about it. I think you can get around this issue without offending him.
Yeah, I think this is a tightrope situation because I think that like if someone did this to me, I think I would kind of be like a little like I don't like when someone sort of like takes over my space or thinks they have the right to like either remove or add to like my space. And that was
Yeah.
something that like I really struggled with like moving in with like a partner. You have to decide like what you're keeping and what you're not keeping and what, whose mattress and whose bed we keep and what sheets and towel, you know what I mean? Like all that kind of shit kind of happens. And like
Mhm.
I don't know why I'm touchy about that, but I think a lot of people are. So I think that like at the start of a relationship, if someone came in and was like, "Hi, here's this bed sheet that I bought for you," it's like cool. I had no say in the color or the design, and like I don't want. I would be so turned off by that, and like I don't think this is a good idea. I think what you said I think is a good idea of being like I don't think he probably just thinks you're being woman and you're a bougie and it's like, a lot of dudes I think are very comfortable with like if they had a TV and a couch, like cool. all done. I mean, like let's compare your apartment when you first moved in to your apartment now that you live with your partner.
Yeah,
It
no,
is it is a
100%.
much
Like,
it's a much different vibe because like I don't think you really gave a shit. Like
no, I definitely didn't. And like, it's both a good and a bad thing because you get by on life, and you like, if things don't bother you that don't need to bother you, like it's fine. Is my place a lot nicer now? Yes, or like somewhat. Um, on the flip side, it does sound like this person has some very bare bones shit.
yeah,
And like sometimes you need that kick to like be like, okay, yeah, I am an adult. I need to step this up even slightly.
yeah. I would love to know their age because this strikes me as like fresh out the dorm
I'd
room.
say early 20s.
Yeah. I
You
think
know.
the older you guys get, if you're in your 30s and he's acting this way, I think I'd be a little bit more concerned. Because
Hmm.
like at some point in time, you do have to be an adult, and like even if you're happy, even if you are content with a flat sheet and the oldest pillows you've ever owned, there's still like if you want to be a romantic partner to someone, you still have to make accommodations to be like, well, I should at least like put in a little bit of effort. And I think that's kind of where it needs to come from. You need to have that, as you said, a specific conversation. And the next time he invites you over, be like, I'm really sorry, but like I'm not super comfortable sleeping over at your place because you your bed is like a 16-year-old or like a dorm room kind of thing, and it's like I'm not comfortable. That like sleeping on a mattress isn't something I like to do. I'm really sorry, but like if you want to come to my place, great, but I have no problem visiting you, but I don't think I'm going to sleep over.
Yeah.
And see how he takes that.
And you could even like, just be like, oh, I haven't been sleeping well. Or like, yeah, I'm uncomfortable. Like these things, again, make it more about you than about him. Like you're not saying, hey, I don't want to stay over because you're a cheap fuck. Or like, oh, I don't want to stay over. You're a big baby child who can't, buy adult stuff, because that's not going to go well, even if it's true.
Yeah.
If you say like, oh, I just honestly, I haven't slept well, like I find whatever uncomfortable, he will presumably want you to sleep well and want you to be over, and then hopefully won't get offended. You know what I mean? But I do feel like, you know, my bed was always fine. My sheets were always good,
Hmm.
because I wouldn't want to take anyone home and, and I'm talking about like a one night stand or like the first time we hooked up, not even like anybody, successive, right? I would want to have it at least at a good level. And this doesn't seem like that's even there. So, you know, you got to talk to him. If you're buying him a fucking present of sheets and you're not, offending him, or you're going out of your way to try not to, I'm hoping it would go well. But just try to keep it about you, if that makes any sense.
If you are planning to be as sexually active, and I think this is I would lean this more towards dudes, but at the same time, if I went over to a woman's house and she had like a bare mattress and like one sheet, I'd be like, "The fuck is happening here?" And
Yeah.
I'm not a bougie person. I don't need your place to look like a fucking I don't want to date people who are living in a penthouse or have all the fancy shit. I don't need that. But like if you don't have a simple bed set, I would be a bit concerned about like what
Your
other
age.
yeah, or like what other like how much effort you're putting in with like other aspects of your life.
Hmm.
I think it's like even if like I don't even give a shit if it's made. You know what I mean? Like I don't give a fuck if we roll into your room and you have like an unmade bed because that implies that there are sheets on it,
Yeah.
which is all I'm asking for.
Now
Have
the
some
thing
sheets on
is,
there.
this guy's never had an unmade bed.
I mean, yeah,
Technically.
I guess, but he's also never made a bed. So
Yeah, it's wild. So have a talk with him. Try to make it like not like you're coming for him, not like you're criticizing him. You know what I mean? And hopefully it'll be all right.
good luck.
You ready?
Yep.
Friend wants me to sleep in bed with her during the week I visit. Is this her making a move? Additional notes. She texted me a few days later and told me, I don't wear pants when I sleep.
Is that all we get for this?
That's all I remember. It was
Okay.
basically like the only other stuff is like they've been friends for 4 years or something.
It's I would wager I like there's a lot of gray area here of being like have you guys slept over before? Why are you visiting her? how it like were you ever flirty outside of this?
Mhm.
Because but my gut reaction is to say, yeah, this is probably a play. She's probably making a move here to be like, hey, come on and stay with me for a week. Also, sleep with me in my bed. Also, not going to be wearing pants. Like, if,
Yeah, because like even like I don't think a normal person says that and doesn't realize it can be misconstrued if that's not what they mean,
right.
right? Because if for some reason you cannot wear pants in bed, you just like you made a genie deal. If you ever wear pants, your granddad keels over. You know what I mean? You cannot do it. Will not do it. Then you say like, oh look, I can't wear pants in bed. Just a heads up, I know this sounds really bad, haha, but I'm not trying to sleep with you, which still does kind of sound like you want to sleep with them. I feel like there's no coming back from that.
But I also feel like there's the thing of being like she invited him to sleep in the bed. Or it'd
Mm-hmm.
be one thing if like he or you know what I mean, like if there was the implication that like he wanted to share the bed with her,
Mm-hmm.
and then she was like, "Oh, I don't wear pants," and you could be like, "Oh, maybe you were trying to use that as a like a sorry, you can't. I don't feel comfortable. I don't wear pants, so
Yeah.
like maybe you'll stay on the couch." But to be like, "Sleep in my bed, also don't wear pants," is I mean those are two very sexually charged suggestions.
Mm-hmm. Like a good friend could be like, "Hey, you don't need to sleep on my shitty couch or my floor,"
Yeah,
because you don't know the apartment situation. A lot of people's apartments are not very conducive to sleeping on the couch, because they might have shit couches, they might not have air conditioning in
or
the living
roommates.
room, or out of roommates, etc. So it's like that part is reasonable, right? If it was just like,
Yeah,
oh my, she's offering I could sleep in her bed, like could just be a chill, cool friend. You know what I mean?
yeah.
The pants thing, the odds of it being an honest warning.
Yeah, because like, look, if I was having, I sleep in my underwear and no shirts or whatever. But if I had someone like, if we were crashing in, well, no, I'm pretty sure we were in our underwear when
Yeah,
we,
but that's fine.
yeah,
We held eye contact for only half the night,
yeah.
so
I mean, I guess also we're not potentially romantic partners with one another. So
exactly. But like the thing is, I feel like if you were saying something like that and you wanted to not make them think that you were hitting on them, you would probably follow it up with like even joking like lol, that sounds bad, but ha ha ha. Like you know what I mean? I feel like it's probably not a come on.
or make the accommodation to just put on some shorts.
That's the thing. That's very easy. Like it's a lot easier to just wear shorts for a week than it is to be like, hi, I'm going to make this really weird sexually charged
Yeah,
comment and not clarify it, friend. So I would argue that yes, they are in fact trying to do the nasty with you.
especially when you're like staying over. Like that first night, you're really gonna gamble unless it's very obvious of being like, do I make my new move? Otherwise, I have nowhere to stay, or I've made this trip very weird.
I say you still leave it in their court, right? Because it's their place, they're your friend, and they're the woman, they're the one who would probably feel a lot more threatened in this situation if it goes south. So by all means, feel free to play back, like being like, "Oh shit, that's super dangerous because I don't wear pants either." Ha ha ha. You know what I mean? Like keep
Yeah.
that flirty kind of like flame alive, and like take off your pants before you get in bed, and maybe like if they are really angling for this, unless you're very cold and distant, I think they will continue to do so. I
Also, I
don't
do
think you
want to
have to
note,
worry.
please make sure you're wearing something under your pants. Don't just rock in there naked.
Oh no!
That's
Well, when I say pants, I assume it's like trousers, right?
yes, no, I know. I just wanted to look, man. We've done this shit long enough
That's fair. Yeah,
that
that's true.
we
Don't
have to
don't just
deal.
go dick out,
Yeah,
because that's no, that's a no.
I
Boxers,
would
maybe
also
she'll see your shaft a little bit through your fabric, and she'll like it maybe.
and maybe when you get their offer to like not sleep in the bed, be like I like if you want to be pantsless, I don't mind sleeping on the couch. It's fine. And if they're insistent, they're like no, like please, the pants and the bed is a package deal. Then you're like okay, cool, like great. I've kind of sussed out the vibe of this trip. But if they're like,
Yeah,
oh, cool, great, thanks, I really appreciate that. I'll grab you your blanket and thing. Then you're like, okay, great, I misread this situation. There is no,
that's the thing. It is in no way just a green flag, right? It could be a good indication. It could be a very good indication, but I think as the guest, as the person this person's doing a favor to, Uh, a favor that includes letting you sleep in their bed so you're not uncomfortable. I think you need to go through every effort to make sure that you don't misconstrue this or make them
Hmm.
uncomfortable. You know, I think that's the most important thing here. So it's
Even
like, by all means, test the water by replying to these little flirty, little flirty sparks that are being thrown your way. But you gotta really make sure that you know before anything happens.
yeah, and like even if it means missing an opportunity to
Mm-hmm.
do the nasty, like I would rather kick myself that I missed an opportunity than kick myself that I misread the signals. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
I'd rather be
Like,
like, oh, I could have slept with that person than be like, oh, cool, I ruined this friendship and made them feel awful when they were doing something very nice.
yeah,
Um, Also, it's funny because we're kind of assuming this person wants to, but they never said they wanted to. So it's like, if you're uncomfortable with this, then feel free to be like, I don't really feel comfortable sleeping in bed with you if you got no pants on. Don't worry, I got the floor, I got the whatever. You can be very clear about your boundaries too. You don't have to
very
just
true.
get into bed in terror and be like, oh no. And then she's like, oh, we got to cuddle now. And you'd be like, oh shit. Like, establish your own boundaries. The earlier, the better, too.
Hmm.
So, good luck.
This comes from Reddit user Environmental Row 57. I want to watch my husband pleasure himself until he finishes, but at the same time, I feel horrified with myself for thinking that, and I get internally embarrassed. How do I deal with this? Pretty much the title. I think I'd really enjoy watching him please himself, but at the same time, I feel disgusted with myself for even thinking it, and I feel like I'd just be embarrassed in the moment and make it uncomfortable for both of us. How do I sort of come to terms with this?
Why would you feel embarrassed about that?
Yeah, I don't know.
And like, I'm not trying to, demean anybody or whatever, but this is part of my advice is like, why? Why would you feel embarrassed about that? There's nothing wrong. Like, it's in no way less sexual than fucking or whatever. You know what I mean? Mutual masturbation is totally a thing. And it's like people watch videos of women fingering themselves. You know what I mean? People watch videos of men jerking it, I'm sure. Um, this isn't a weird thing. You're not weird for wanting it. You
Yeah,
presumably find your partner hot. These are all normal things. And it's like, sometimes you feel things that you can't explain or shouldn't or whatever. But like, I think the first step is trying to like rationalize why you do and if you should. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not saying it's insane for you to think it, but I am saying you really need to try to think of why that is because, from my point of view, nothing wrong with that at all.
no, and I think a lot of people deal with this when they're they come from a more conservative background of like sex is man, woman, penis, vagina, missionary, do the deed and done kind of
Mm-hmm.
situation. Or maybe not that cut and dried, but like they don't understand that like a sexual relationship doesn't necessarily just need to be like sex.
Mm-hmm.
It can be any number of things, including, like you said, mutual masturbation. So if you want to address this, I also think depending on like your sexual relationship with your partner, I think if someone wanted to watch me just jerk off, I don't know if I would be down for that. I think I would be very uncomfortable with that. Not that I think there's anything wrong with it. I just think that like masturbation is a very private thing for me, and it's something that I enjoy doing by myself. And to do it performatively, I think would take a lot of mental energy, and I think would result in no results. Like I would be able to jerk off. Would I be able to finish? That's probably a tough one to say. I don't know. And if I was, it would literally be because I was so not paying attention to the fact that someone's watching me, and maybe that's what they want. I don't know. That aside,
Hmm.
if you want to,
I don't think it will bother me. I'd be like, okay. Like, I would probably be like, damn, I wish they were doing stuff to me, but that might be part of the fun in like a almost like teasing way where you're like, and if they're doing their own thing, it's hot. They're watching. I don't know. I'd
yeah,
be down.
I've definitely had partners like stop me and like just made me watch them like play with themselves, which is cool. But I'm just like, what do I do? And then they'll be like, okay, you jerk. I'm like, great, but like I like the fact that you're present and physically here. Like I can do this. We can do this over text or video or any
Yeah.
other. You know what I mean? It's like I would like to be engaged with you at the moment.
I
Um,
do think like a whole thing where it's like you masturbate yourself from start to finish, and I'm just going to watch. It's like, okay, I do it. I don't know how many times I would do it before I would get bored, but like if, you're kind of like in command and you like tell someone like, oh, start playing with yourself. I find that very hot. Again, not as it wouldn't be as hot for it's like, hey, play it yourself from start to finish. I'm just gonna lie here and watch. You know what I mean? But hey, what people are
Yeah.
into, they're into.
What I think you could do if you want to broach this a little more naturally is like when you guys are hot and heavy in bed and getting into foreplay or whatever. If you're making out or whatever, just ask him to be like, "I want you to stroke your cock,"
Mm-hmm.
and when he does it, enjoy yourself, and then start playing with yourself, or let him know that like, be like, that's like, I find that so fucking hot because without like if you don't have that affirmation or that declaration of that you really enjoy this, I think a lot of people, myself included, would be like, now what? But if you're
Yeah,
just,
and I
you know
think
what
that's
I mean? Like, I mean,
I think that's kind of advice for pretty much any time you're doing things in bed, especially if they're new. It's like if you like it, tell them. You know what I mean?
yeah,
People crave reinforcement all the time in everything, and it's like especially in sex. And the funny thing is like you might be so into it in the moment that you're just kind of like silent, and then it's like the best things might seem like the worst things 'cause you're not
uh huh,
involved.
yeah.
So 100%, if you want to do something and your partner does it for you and you like it, tell them, you
Please,
know?
for the love of God. And like you said, you might get so caught up in the moment that like you might not have the mental capacity to do it. But like afterwards, when you guys are cuddling and calming down and a little aftercare or whatever you guys are getting into, be sure to be like, hey, just so you know, when you did that for me, when I asked you to do that and you did it, fucking loved it. Thank you. That was incredible. I really
Mhm.
appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like really, really gush about it so that like if they were a little uncomfortable and did it to appease you, they'll be more comfortable next time. And then it also like, if you're a good sexual partner, if someone has ever mentions anything about liking something, I lock that in my brain forever.
Mhm. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you tell me, like if I do something, if on my way to go down to you, I, kiss my way down your body, and you're like, that was hot, I loved it. Guess what? I'm a, that's a permanent move now for you
Mhm.
because I know you like it. So
That's
why
going
wouldn't I do it again?
in the fucking like move bank right there.
Yeah, and it's like I know there are some people that like I've been with women who like really, really hard suction on their nipples. And then I've been with other women who have been like, I could, no, no thanks.
Or the opposite, or like, they're sensitive.
Yeah. So it's like, you need to tailor your sexual moves and your move set from partner to partner, but like, pay attention to the things that your partner really likes and don't just do it once, especially if they've asked you to do it.
Mhm.
If your partner's asked you for something, it's not like they're going, unless they then say you guys do it and you're like, yeah, I thought that would be cooler. Sorry,
Mhm.
didn't really
And
like that.
also, unless you don't want to do it, because this is
Also true, yes.
presupposing it's something you do want to do, right?
Yes.
Yeah, 100%. And like I think we both kind of come from a place where like maybe jerking it start to finish might take a while, might be awkward, blah blah blah. So it's like maybe don't start there. Maybe in the middle of foreplay, like get him hot and heavy, get him somewhat of the way there. And then, I think like a very easy way to broach the subject would be like, if you like whisper in his ear, be like, where would you want to come?
Hmm.
Because again, if this is something you're comfortable with, because like if he wants to come on your chest or like somewhere you're okay with, you can be like, okay, do it and like lie back and make him do it. You know what I mean? Because then it's a little bit of stuff for him. It's like a game. It's performative. Blah 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 blah. It like kind of adds more to it than just being like jerk it. You know.
Yeah.
And most importantly, from the point I was making, it's like you've kind of already stoked the fires. He's not starting from zero and moving all the way up. But yeah, I really like. I think you need to nail down the reasons why you feel embarrassed about it. Like, is it something internalized, religiously or growing up or blah blah blah? Is it what you think he's okay with and not okay with? Because I really don't think anybody's gonna be upset with you being like, I find X about you very hot. You know?
And if they are, then it's like, cool, now you know.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, yeah, I think it's going to be easier to get over if it's been shot down than if it's still a possibility.
Yeah, for sure. This could be a fun thing to like if you guys are ever apart, you can ask him for like videos of him, jerking off and stuff like
Mm-hmm.
that. And like
It
that's a very easy thing to do.
doesn't work well on camera, I tell you that.
Jerking off?
Yeah.
Why?
I told you my Skype stories
Oh yeah.
were like, it was too fast. It doesn't show up on the camera. It's just a blur. It's just a big cock blur. I guess cameras have come
Yeah, I was gonna say you're not
further.
using a fucking like 1994 1 megapixel
Hey,
webcam.
I wasn't jerking it when I was 4, Dane. Or was
I
I?
don't
No, I
know.
wasn't. Yeah, use a better camera, I guess. Or just go slower, which is what I did at the start. Next question.
Yeah. Or maybe some advice for you. If your head is still blurring with today's technology, maybe slow down, dude.
Gotta go fast.
Your sonic hand job at yourself.
Yeah. This is my boyfriend lunch dates with female coworkers. Sorry, this is by Less Historian 482. Hello. Maybe I am overreacting, so I want some opinions. I feel my boyfriend who I live with has been acting different. My boyfriend's new coworker is a young female who he has been having lunch with lately. I know this because I saw it on his phone. They also message each other, funny memes, and other non-work related stuff. I brought it all up to him and he got really mad. He's never been friendly with female coworkers before, so this is very odd to me. They've gone to lunch a few times because they had meetings together, he says. I don't know what to think.
Man, it fucking sucks where I want to be on this dude's side and be like, it is fine to have female friends. Or it's fine to have like friends of the opposite gender. But anytime it's like, I talked to my partner and they got upset at me. I would love to know what that means and if that's an overreaction on whose part or whatever. But like, I'm going to take everything at face value. And like, so one, if your partner comes to you with a concern, especially something as, let's be honest, tedious at this point as this is, don't freak out because it just makes you seem so fucking guilty of something. Or it seems like what you're doing is wrong or that you need to defend yourself or something. Stop freaking out about shit. Like almost every question we get where it's like, my boyfriend's done this or my girlfriend has done this. And then when I talk to them about it, they got really upset.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Now,
stop.
I would love to know, like, how they brought it up and if in bringing it up they were, like, accusatory / jealous or mentioned that they went through his phone.
I mean,
You know what I mean? Because I feel
yeah.
like that could be the reason why he was in fact really mad. And we talked about this, I think, can't remember if it was Pillow Talk or last week, but
I think it
you know?
actually might be on our upcoming articles, what you're thinking about.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Damn, we just got so many pans in the fire.
Yeah, we've got fucking our fingers in every pie.
You can read this in our upcoming tickle.com article, tickle.life. Damn it.
So yes, there's any number of reasons why you should be or you could be upset, but you still have to like I said, the second you get upset makes you seem defensive, and that just adds more fuel onto the fire, regardless of what they've done. You can be upset. You need to find a way to express your disappointment or frustrations without getting worked up. And again, I don't know what this looks like, or you know what I mean. We'll try to leave the guesswork kind of at the door, but we have to invite them in a little bit, just briefly,
Always, yeah.
for a small cup of tea, and then we'll ask them to leave.
The more context, the better, but like we're always context starved.
Yeah.
I mean, they can barely subsist on the context we're given. We're just sometimes I'm walking down the street and I find like used context on the ground. I slurp it up just to keep me going until the next week.
Man, I really thought you were gonna say condoms for some reason, and
No,
the rest of that sentence, yeah. So that's my advice for him. If what he's saying is true, and it's just he's made a friend, which let's be fair, our group chat is nothing but fucking memes most of the time, or bullshit like stuff about our jobs and how stupid everyone is in the world. If all they're sending is memes and then going for lunch because they work together, you have no right to be upset about this. He's given you no indication that he's being unfaithful. Like, it's so stupid.
Well, the thing is, she says he's been acting different and then never says any way he's been acting different apart from the fact that he had lunch with a young female coworker and he's never been friendly with female coworkers before.
Well, I think that's what she means. I think it's like he has a female friend at work. It's like,
yeah, that's
you don't know what the industry is either.
Yeah, exactly. That this seems so like, is having meetings with coworkers a red flag? Or having lunch with coworkers a red flag? Fucking no. Is messaging each other funny memes and other non-related stuff? No, that's called being fucking friends. or at least
Yeah.
friendly. You know what I mean? None of these things are red flags on their own. The fact that aside from him getting mad, which could have been for you going through his phone or how you brought it up, or it could be defensive, could be he's a shitbag. We don't know. But what we do know is the things you're upset all seem really fucking normal.
Yeah, I mean, like for all we know, this is like a STEM field or something, which is like male dominated,
Mm-hmm.
pretty classically. So like maybe the fact that he hasn't been friendly with female coworkers is like there haven't been a whole lot of options.
Yeah,
It's been like
or
Karen in accounting that like why would he ever hang out with her?
yeah, maybe it's just the first person like nearer his age, or maybe it's just that he knows you're a little flammable on the subject because in the comments, Dane, you find out she did a big post about how opposite gender friendships shouldn't exist. Someone called her on,
Oh,
and then she deleted them all and was like, fuck you, and now it's a whole thing. But like, I had this knowledge from going down, which is why I think I've been a little bit more on his side. But apparently she's a whole thing where she just doesn't believe men should be friends with women ever, which we've talked about before, and that's fucked.
yeah. I mean that's well. I mean like at that point, like the question solves itself. Is she's upset that he has a female friend?
Yeah.
Case in point, the advice here is you're wrong.
Hmm.
You're allowed to be friends with people of other genders
In
other
fact,
than
I
your own.
highly encourage it.
Yeah,
I
that's
feel
how
like,
you gain empathy. That's how
yeah,
we get men who understand that like, oh, maybe I shouldn't catcall the woman at 2 a.m. Not that you need to be, friends with a woman to know that, but like
yeah.
it's a good place to start for people who don't know that.
Yeah, I feel like if you aren't friends with the opposite gender or any other gender other than your own, because there isn't a binary, so opposite doesn't make sense. If you're not friends with other genders, you are not a complete human being. Like, it can happen to people, whatever. But like, if you're actively like, oh, can't do that, you need to fix that. That's a fucking bit of advice right there.
Yeah, if it just kind of happens that like all your friends are dudes or
Yeah,
women or
that's, you
whatever,
know,
okay. But like if you start like becoming friendly with someone at work and you're like, "Oh man, you're really cool, but you don't have the same stuff as me in your downstairs region, and therefore we can't do I'm sorry. I'm sorry we can't be friends."
damn, would be cool if we could be friends, though.
It'd be really cool. It'd be
Fuck, I
really
wish
cool.
wish God hadn't made that rule, or however the fuck you try to, I don't know, make it make sense.
Yeah.
Anyway, none of these things are red flags. People should have fucking friends. Don't be a jealous piece of shit.
Yep.
Hit me.
This is going to be a quick one, which is good because we're almost at the end of the old show.
I got an old quick one for you too. So just fucking let's little quick fencing match at the end. I don't know.
Okay. I feel like I don't even really need to read the
You're
whole
right.
thing.
I'm just gonna say no.
Um, well, will someone ever love me again despite the fact that I'm not a virgin?
Yes, we're all not virgins. Well, like a lot of us.
So
And
I'll read the whole thing because I think there's sentiments in here that we need like in case someone ever feels the same, they can look back at this and be like, oh yeah, this is bullshit. They're a 19-year-old female. I live in a very religious country. Ever since my childhood, I've been hearing things like sex is so bad. A girl should always keep herself away from men, always has to protect herself, and you shouldn't experience anything sexual until you're married. Even masturbating is seen as an evil thing here. Over the years, I started to resent the whole religion thing and ideas. I started questioning my own faith. I'm now agnostic. And I started having sex a year ago. I enjoy it. I love it. It makes me feel good. My boyfriend thinks the same way as me. But certain things happen between us, and I've considered breaking up so many times. But then it feels like an impossible thing. Like I can't break up with him. He took my virginity. I have to marry him now, otherwise no one will ever love me. And any man or any men I have a relationship with hate me when they learn about it. I feel so dirty and worthless. I know sex is good for your mental health and physical health, but I can't help but feeling a horrible person.
you are not dirty. You are not worthless. Straight up.
Mm-hmm.
Throw that out of your mind the second you can. Scour that thought from your mind because that's awful. I'm sorry you feel that way. Maybe if you find someone as religious as the people you grew up with, they might feel that way. Maybe if you meet some weird douchebag who's obsessed with like, you know, women's body counts and blah, blah, blah. Like if you've listened to podcasts, you know, there are people out there who do get weird about partner sexual history. That is a them problem, not a you problem, as is the religious like issues. Aside from that, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the fact that you've lost your virginity or been sexually active. You are in no way tainted or lesser or dirty or worse or corrupted or any words you could think of it. And most people feel the exact same way. So you're okay.
And we've talked about it before, and I think we'll continue to talk about it until it becomes a thing. Virginity is a social construct.
Mm-hmm.
Virginity, as an idea, there's nothing. Having sex with someone doesn't change anything about you at
Nope.
all. So the only thing that, like, virginity was something that we came up with, way back when, to value women as bargaining pieces for marriage and trade and, making alliances with other families and shit. And like that was the arbitrary distinction between virgin and not virgin was, how much your dowry was going to be. We don't do that shit anymore. Well, I mean, I don't know where you live, so you might actually still do that where you are. I'm not sure if there are cultures that still do it. There's a chance if there are still cultures out there that think or place this much weight on the concept of virginity. So hopefully you're young. Hopefully, when you go out and experience more of the world, whether it's college or post secondary education, you'll find more people who think like you. You have questioned your faith. You have become agnostic. Hopefully, you will, through natural social progression, you'll become close with people who feel that way, and hopefully, that will also imply that they have the same views of sex as you. And because Niall discussed it, but like there are people out there who, yes, you will find a man, and probably plenty of men, it sounds like from where you are, who will be like, oh, I couldn't possibly, you're old, damaged goods because you've had sex. Yeah, they're gonna exist, and that sucks. But hey, guess what? You don't want to be with that person anyway.
Yeah. The only people out there who subscribe to these beliefs are shit.
Yeah, they're not going to be a good partner. Like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh great, you'll be able to be with someone who doesn't respect your autonomy or your body or your free will, or
Hmm.
like, why would you want, like, you're being concerned that you might never get to be with someone who's terrible.
Yeah. And that's like a pretty good place to be because,
Yeah,
yeah, you don't want to be with these fuckheads.
you don't. So, I mean, at the end of the day, I know this is easier said than done. Family culture and stuff are hard to leave, but like maybe moving to somewhere more progressive,
Hmm.
whether it's another country or another area within the country you live in, find a place that's a little more progressive and not quite as rigid, because nothing good is going to come out from this sort of like religious indoctrination ever anywhere. Like
Hmm.
it's rare that places like this you see like a flourish of anything other than hate and misery.
And also, like, don't let anything stand in the way of you leaving a relationship that isn't healthy for you anymore. Even if you knew no one was ever gonna, be your partner, it's like if this relationship isn't working for you, it's not working for you.
Yeah,
You know what I
it's
mean?
better to find happiness through your own solitude and solo pursuits than it is to be miserable with someone.
Mhm.
Makes no
And the best
sense.
part is that's never like that was a worst case scenario of no one ever loving you again, which is impossible, I think. So you're good. But this
Hmm.
also leads into my very quick question. Chances of finding a partner are slim. I recently read chances of finding a compatible partner who likes you back are slim, 1 in 562 to be exact. The study was done in the UK, so it might not be comparable to the US where I'm from. Or it could just be a scare tactic to convince people to join eHarmony, which seems to be the sponsor of the study. But it got me thinking how small my chances of finding a partner are. She's 24, by the way. I am further discouraged because I'm a tall female who prefers to date men my height or taller, which narrows the dating pool even more. Does this study have any validity?
The fact that you literally clocked that eHarmony was the sponsorship for a study that tells you that you'll never find your match on your own
Yeah.
is like
Telling.
believing the studies from the 50s of tobacco sponsored cigarette companies being like, yep, it'll cure all your problems. Like, and sure, there might be some validity in like the idea that we are like the our concept of compatibility might be skewed. Like, I don't know if that's sort of like the scientific skew of, or angle or bias or whatever, but like you always need to look anytime you see a study that seems kind of like fucked, you need to look where it's coming from.
Hmm.
Which is why, like, I mean, the food pyramid is one of the biggest shams in the world because it was all sponsored and funded by the companies who are at the top.
Yeah, I haven't seen Gatorade on there once.
It's got the electrolytes you crave.
Yes, but like also, how the fuck are you supposed to like quantify compatibility? Like if you've ever dated or ever met anybody ever, it's like some people who seem great on paper aren't. Some people who you never thought you'd find yourself being attracted to, you are. Some people really click, some people don't. Like you literally could not, even if you tried to list everything you like and wanted, you'd find somebody and there'd be something about them you're surprised you like and something about them you're surprised you don't. Like
Could you give me the name of the study or like what the study I was measuring again?
chances of finding a compatible partner likes you back are slim.
Yeah, the science pretty much stops immediately in the title. Because like you
Yeah.
said, it's like what quantifies compatibility? There's no it's like saying, oh, the most attractive people are X or Y or Z.
Mhm.
Attraction is a subjective thing.
Exactly.
It's up to like what I find attractive is not the same as what other people find attractive, and the same thing with compatibility. So the margin for error, and even if we're going to say that this is a legit scientific study, the margin for error is so wide because one, a lot of people don't know what their compatibility is.
Exactly.
So the people who are like being like, okay, what do you want in a partner? This, and this might not actually be what works for them in a partnership.
Hmm.
It might
Or
be a
they might
wish
just
list.
be leaving out the other three fucking things. It's insane. And I think we can both say that it's just, no, this isn't true. You're good.
Yeah, no, like there's so much to ridicule in this and pull apart in this that like there's actually no real point in discussing it other than like what Al just said is this is bullshit. Don't worry about it because this is only going to make you more jaded, which will inadvertently make it harder to find someone who's compatible and likes you. So fuck off. Get out of here with this.
Also, is it not just kind of saying every one person in 562 people is really compatible with you, which is actually quite a lot of people?
Yeah. When you consider how many people are in this fucking planet or the city, like unless you live in a town of 500, like hold on. Let's do some quick math here.
So it looks
So
like
there's
one,
11,000 people in Toronto that are compatible with me right now.
and if you look in the world, it's 1,408,001,996, or 1,408,000, 14,081,996 people, 0.43. So, oops, there's a corpse in there.
Did I do this right? Did I do the math right on this? I think I did. I don't think I did the math on my end correctly. But either way, yes, there are still plenty of people who are out there that are
Yeah,
compatible for you.
100%. So you're good. Now, talking about compatibility in online dating, ready for some Tindies?
Yes, at the end of every episode, we like to peruse online dating and go through profiles looking for red flags to make your online dating experience a little more enjoyable.
Now, should we just do compatible or not today?
Yes, we're running a little long, so let's make it quick.
Are you ready for Ramy?
Mm-hmm.
If you want to go mountain biking or play frisbee golf with me, you've got a date. Or we could just grab a drink, preferably whiskey. That guy's cute, but how tall is he? 5'8". Dear heightists, I get it, because I judge your body too. So let's make a deal. You forgive that I'm not 6 feet tall, and I'll do the same for your imperfect boobs, or butt, or your nose, or whatever else it is. Then we'll live happily ever after.
Man, that was actually a pretty good profile until that last little bit.
Yeah, it got real bitter.
Yeah,
It
so
got
I'm
very
gonna.
aggressive and judgy, and like, you done ruined it, dude.
Yeah, I'm gonna give that a not compatible.
Not compatible.
This is Liz. I like to think I'm witty and have a good sense of humor. Love my dog, working on my hobbies. I'm a good listener. Looking for a kink experience D type.
D-type.
I think Dom.
Ah, okay. Compatible.
I love this because it starts so fucking bland. Like, absolutely run of the mill, nothing special about it. And then she's just like, yeah, I am also looking for like for a Dom. Like,
Yeah.
okay, great.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's boring but inoffensive at the start, you know? And then she's like, but I'm a little dirty. You're like, all right.
Yeah, hell yeah. Compatible for sure.
This is Stephanie. There's so many emojis. Get ready. Petite and positive. Rabbit emoji, two hearts emoji, coconut emoji, avocado emoji, some type of food emoji. I think it's a fucking, like, noodle bowl or something. Chocolate emoji, martini emoji, ice skating shoe emoji, ice skate emoji, I mean. Uh, Meditation emoji, roller coaster emoji, movie cinema ticket emoji, fucking camera emoji, phone emoji, island emoji, sun emoji, orange heart emoji, daddy's girl emoji, adrenaline junkie, parachute emoji, sunset lover, sunset emoji, health and fitness, bike emoji, ball emoji, traveling and spontaneous experiences,
Hey, this
traveling and
sucks.
spontaneous
You don't have to go any further. This sucks.
adventures, red balloon emoji, experiences better than materialistic, happy emoji, two injection emojis, and I guess that's double vaxxed, but then they have like an
Yes.
unsure emoji. So I don't know if they're saying they're not sure if they're double vaxxed, they're not sure if they want you to be double vaxxed, or they don't like that people are double vaxxed.
Yeah,
Either
I'm.
way,
This all this says to me right now is texting this person would be a fucking nightmare.
also I'm not sure I love daddy's girl.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm gonna say not compatible.
this is Julia. She's 24. She says, nearly half of all Canadians are torsos.
That's pretty good. Is that it?
Yeah, I have no idea what the fuck it means, but I said yes.
Well, because it's like half of your body is your torso.
Oh,
It's
I
pretty
get it
funny.
now. Yeah.
They're compatible for sure. This is Alex. Single mother times three. Addiction and mental health field. Tila Tequila looking for love vibes. If you don't get that reference, you're too young for me. I don't know how to perform makeup miracles, so this is the only face I got. My personalities, though, are plenty. I'll probably ask you what time you were born at.
Hold on, did she say personalities?
She said her personalities, though, are plenty.
Okay.
Maybe when she said she was single mother times three, she meant she was, in fact, three single mothers.
Three separate single mothers. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
the
Yeah.
that's hmm some sort of triple mother maybe.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna say not compatible.
Yeah.
And that's
Like,
not to shame anyone with mental disorders or anything like that. Mental illness is a thing and should still, but the sneak in of the personalities, like if you are mentally ill, especially with something such as multiple personality disorder or schizophrenia, I think that's something you should be upfront about and talk about and not
mm-hmm.
let
Well,
people
I'm
find out on their own.
pretty sure she isn't. So it's kind of a weird thing to say. Maybe
Yeah.
she is, but it doesn't come across like that, especially when she says she's in the addiction and mental health field. You would imagine she would be better able to convey this if it was real. And if it isn't real, would be better able to not make a joke about it.
And let's be real, it might be a typo. Autocorrect is a thing that happens, and maybe she missed it. But
Well,
either
even
way,
if
I'm saying not compatible.
even if it wasn't personalities, it would be my personality are plenty, which itself says, or I guess it's plain like it's enough. I don't know, maybe. Also, red flag. I'll ask you what time you were born at. Not compatible.
Anna says, I can pick you off with a headshot at 100 meters, so shoot your shot, winky face.
That's scary. Is she holding a gun in her picture?
No,
Okay.
I think it's a video game thing.
Is she a gamer? If
I'm
she's a
hoping.
gamer, it's compatible. If she's threatening me with a gun, it's
There
probably
was no
still
gun,
compatible.
but there's also no indication of a gamer girl either. But
You know what? I'll swipe it and find out.
yeah,
Compatible for now. And I also have an Anna to finish us off. You ready?
yeah.
Newly single and looking to mingle, lol. Join me as I try to figure out life, dot, dot, dot. Or don't. It's totally whatevs.
This is not a good profile, but
It's not great.
I'm still going to say compatible for it because it is just the right amount of blasé for me of just being like, hey man, I'm just here for the ride. Let's go. And I like that. I like that energy.
Honestly, like, I feel like I should be red flagging it because it's like newly single. Okay, I don't need to necessarily know that. Join me as I try to figure out life. It's like I don't want to date someone who can't figure out life, or don't. It's totally whatevs. It's like what? What are you doing? I'm gonna say not compatible.
All right. More from me.
Yeah, hey, Dane, it's totally whatevs.
Thank you very much for listening. That's going to do us for the show. If we have a tickle.life column coming out, as soon as it launches, you will be the first to know. If you want more of this, but in writing, that's what it is. We answer questions that are submitted through Tickle. We answer them. I think we've done a very good job on our very first article. As soon as it's out, we will be posting links on all of our social media. So be on the lookout for that. if you would like to support the show, please head on over to fbuddiespodcast.com, submit a question on the contact page, or head on over to our Patreon. And for a little bit of money, the cost of a beer will get you an extra episode every month called Pillow Talk, where we go a little more freeform. We get a little loosey-goosey. We still answer questions. We still do the advice thing, but we tend to play a few games, talk some bullshit. We get to be a little more relaxed in it. And that is available for everyone who subscribes. There's currently 3 episodes up, so if you pledge now, you'll get 3 episodes, and then you'll get a new one at the end of November.
And thank you so much for everyone who is a patron. We did get 2 brand new ones in the last day or 2. So thank you in particular. We see you. We love you.
See you. We love you.
But for real, it means a lot. So thank you so much. Thank you, Josh Eagle and the Harvest Cities, for the song Paper Stars, too.
Hell yeah.
Patron, but he does give us some tunes. So
we'll give us
that
tunes.
Slide. Now, I don't know where you want to go on this one.
Well, you need to choose because I really have to pee, and this is almost the end of the show.
I'll just give you this one. This is a uncredited, very real story. They bring you brownies, other things too. A female coworker once left a warm, homemade brownie on my desk and an almost as warm pair of freshly worn pantyhose in the top drawer. She also left a note in which she confessed to a certain highly personal activity she performed in those same pantyhose. Later she added, "I figure you could decide what you wanted to eat first." Another woman, wearing the tightest of white pants, waltzed into my office once and mused, "What a wonderful day for a giant orgasm." Then, that advisory having been communicated, she waltzed back out. As Dave Barry is fond of writing, I am not making this up. Except Dave is kidding. I'm dead earnest. And if you're a male reader thinking, come on, that doesn't happen, well, it just hasn't happened to you. Trust me, it happens.
I'd love to know what he does for a living.
He works in sex office.
Like, imagine. I mean, also, was the woman implying that he was going to eat the pantyhose?
That would be awful.
Because, like, fun joke to be like, oh, you know, if you're hungry for more, I've got something else for you to eat. But to be like, hey, I've given you 2 things. What are you going to eat? Is a pretty cool thing to do. Also, this man just sounds like he's being sexually harassed nonstop.
Yeah.
Honestly, it doesn't matter how hot you are. If, like, even at the bar where everyone flirts with everyone, if I was making drinks and someone came up to get their drink and one of them leaned over and was just like, hey, it'd be a great day for a huge orgasm.
I would be like, that's the weirdest shit.
I mean, what the fuck are you saying? That's not hot. 2, every day is a great day for an orgasm. What? But also, like, why are you saying that to me? Get out of here.
The comments, someone's like, I'm not sure nylons actually hold heat like that. So what else? Even brownies don't really hold heat like that. Did she bake it at the office or in the morning before her commute? Did she make them last night? Microwave it in the office kitchen? Then discreetly wiggle out of her hose and shoes next to his desk? She could stuff the hose in a drawer, put her shoes back on, then rifle through the pens on his desk till she found one that worked so she could leave a note? The logistics of this are completely baffling to me.
Yeah, this is terrible. My name is Dave Miller.
And that actually happened. Trust me. I'll Spain.
And this has been Fuck Buddies. It's all what ifs.